And it's not changed very much, actually. For the most part, it's basically where it was at 11 a.m. Storm track right over the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, give or take. That's where it was at 11. It shifted like a mile or two south. So there's really no big change in this, and it doesn't change, I think, the course of action that we all need to take, which is we need to be ready for a storm to strike somewhere around Tampa Bay. But, you know, the width of the bay is essentially about 12 miles or so, and that 12 miles is going to make a huge difference for whether the water gets forced into the bay and it's an absolute catastrophe or it's a little bit more manageable. But either way, unfortunately, if the storm makes landfall in St. Pete Beach or makes landfall in Anna Maria Island, Longboat Key are going to get the worst of this unless it goes south of you. So really the point being that wherever the storm goes, from the storm south is going to be the worst of the storm surge. And that's what we're most concerned about with the storm. Although there are going to be widespread power outages, trees down, there are going to be some dangerous winds, but the worst is going to be the storm surge. And by the way, National Hurricane Center now makes this a Cat 4 over the Gulf with winds of 145 miles an hour. Then weakens it to a Cat 3 with winds of 120, which is the same as it was before. So don't get scared if you see the National Hurricane Center up this to even a Cat 5 over the next day. It's conceivable, it's possible, because our computer models say that it could be a borderline Cat 5 over the Gulf. But you can be fairly certain that it's going to weaken before it gets here because it's going to start interacting with increased wind shear over the eastern Gulf. So even if you see that it's a 5, don't freak out. It's likely to weaken to a 3. Now, I know that's not much of a consolation prize, but believe me, it's a consolation prize because you do not want to tangle with a Cat 4 or 5. And I think this will be a weakening storm as it comes in. Okay, so with that said, I want to go over some of the latest information. Give me like a few minutes, and then we're going to be taking your questions live, so you can put your questions on it. But not quite yet because I'm not looking at the Facebook questions yet. So let's talk about the storm. So the storm